This, I just printed this, okay? This is your COVID plan for Canada. This is really, really troubling. Now, I printed this from the Canadian Report, okay? See it right there. This is posted on October 14th, so it's like 5-6 days old. Canadian Report, I pulled it up, never really heard of it before. I don't know the validity of this. It's from the LPC Strategic Committee League. Some leaker on October 10th posted this, so that's like 10 days ago. Really troubling. Really troubling. Like I said, is it real? I don't know. It's not really out of the realm. It's things I've been talking about repeatedly. Like the Canadian Report, if you pull it up, it looks like the Drudge Report. And the Drudge Report is probably doo-doo now. But anyway, I'm just going to read over this. It says original message. And then it has removed the name. It says dear removed. I don't know who that's to. It says, I want to provide you with some important information. I'm a committee member within the Liberal Party of Canada, and that's the controlling party. That's Justin Trudeau's party. I sit within several committee groups, but the information I'm providing is originating from the SPC, Strategic Planning Committee, which is steered by the PMO. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, I need to start off by saying I'm not happy doing this, but I have to. As a Canadian, and more importantly as a parent who wants a better future not only for my children, but for other children as well. The other reason I'm doing this is that because roughly 30% of the committee members are not pleased with the direction this will take Canada. Not pleased. Boy, that's an extreme understatement after reading this. But our opinions have been ignored, and they plan on moving forward towards their goals. They have also made it clear that nothing will stop the planned outcomes. The PMO, I gotta look and see what that is exactly. Okay, so the roadmap and aim was set out by the PMO and as it follows. Now this is all part of Agenda 21, Agenda 30, the UN. You can go into back and look at the Rockefeller lockstep thing from 2010, straight up to Event 201 with Mr. Billy Goats, the whole nine. I'm just going to read the breakdown. I'm trying to go through this as quick as possible, not to draw this out, I know, whatever. Phase in secondary lockdown restrictions, starting with cities and then going out to the suburbs, starting November of 2020. So if there is validity to this, we'll see if this pans out next month. Rush the acquisition or construction of isolation facilities across every province and territory, expected by December of 2020. What are they basing these numbers on to do this? Daily new case COVID-19 will surge beyond capacity of testing. Notice that. Beyond capacity of testing. They're not saying hospitals will be overrun, including increases in COVID-related deaths, following the same growth curve. Well, we saw how that kind of turned out the first time around. This is all supposed to be at the end of November. Complete and total secondary lockdown, much stricter than the first and second rolling phase restrictions, expected by the end of December 2020, early 2021. Reform and expansion of the unemployment program to be transitioned into the Universal Basic Income Program, expected by the first quarter of 2021. UBI. You will be a slave and indebted under UBI. Well, I've talked about that before. A lot of people have. So these things are not, this is also part of Agenda 21, this UBI, or Agenda 30, one of them. Projected COVID mutation or co-infection with secondary virus. Didn't we say Bill Gates is talking about the second wave virus? He just talked about that a couple of months ago. Projected leading to a third wave with a much higher mortality rate of infection expected by February of 2021. Daily new cases and hospitalizations and related deaths will exceed medical care facilities by the second quarter of 2021. Like they sound like they have this all planned out. They know exactly what's going to happen. How is that possible? How? Well, they kind of knew what was going to happen with COVID-19. And they're also planning on calling it COVID-21. So it's going to mutate. It's going to be COVID-21. Unbelievable. Enhanced lockdown restrictions referred to as third lockdown will be implemented. Full travel restrictions will be imposed, including traveling in the inner city or going to another state, province, wherever they have. Transitioning of individuals to universal basic income expected by second quarter of 2021. Projected supply chain breakdowns. Started talking about this already. Yeah, the supply chains are already breaking down. That's why so many people are currently starving around the world. Deployment of military personnel into major metropolitan areas as well as major roadways to establish travel checkpoints. They've already done this. They've already beta tested this. The whole mask thing is a beta test to see what you will put up with. They've already had checkpoints in New York. Where are your papers if you're coming to show me your papers? Anyway, along with that provided roadmap, the Strategic Planning Committee was asked to design an effective way of transitioning Canadians to meet an unprecedented economic endeavor. What we're told is that in order to offset what was essentially an economic collapse, notice how they keep talking about the Great Reset, the IMF, World Bank, okay, was essentially that the federal government was going to offer Canadians a total debt relief. This is how it works. The federal government will offer to eliminate all personal debts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, which all funding will be provided to Canada by the International Monetary Fund, hence the big reset. Okay, which will be known as World Debt Reset. Okay? In exchange for acceptance of total debt forgiveness, the individual would forfeit ownership of any and all property and assets forever. Now, what does that mean, assets? Like, what does that mean? Your clothes on your back, your DVD collection, your car, your cat, your dog, what? Or just like your major assets, like property ownership, or gold and silver and guns. Like I said, I don't know the validity of this, but some of it I've already know they're working on it. Okay, the individual would also have to agree to partake in a COVID-19 and COVID-21 vaccination schedule, which would provide the individual with unrestricted travel and unrestricted living under a full lockdown through the use of photo identification, referred to as Canada's Health Pass. Now, I've already done video, COVID Pass, all of this. Committee members asked who would become the owner of the forfeited property and assets in that scenario, and what would happen to the lenders or the financial institution. We were simply told World Debt Reset Program will handle all the details. I don't really want to get into that, like what happens to your stuff. See, this is all part of eliminating cash, forced vaccinations, the health pass, restricted travel, restricted surveillance, social credit scores. This is all part of this. Okay, so now they're going to eliminate world debt. What happens if you don't have any debt? What happens? What happens if you paid off your mortgage, you own your car, you don't owe shite, and you're like, just leave me alone, I don't want no part. I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think it's going to work out. So they ask here, what would happen if individuals, if they refuse to participate in the world debt reset or the health pass? They just said, make sure it don't happen. We were told it was in individual's best interest to participate. When several committee members pushed relentlessly, they just pretty much said those who refuse would first live under lockdown restrictions indefinitely. Can't leave your home for nothing. And that over a short period of time, more Canadians transitioned in debt. The ones who refused to participate would be deemed a public safety risk and would be relocated to isolation centers, gulags, concentration camps, elimination centers is what they're saying. Once in those facilities, they would be given two options: participate and be released, or stay indefinitely in isolation facility. Indefinitely. And have all your assets seized. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You decide. Go look it up. Go look Canadian Report. Is it real? Is it info? A lot of it, I've already been talking about. UBI, COVID pass, all of this. It's real. Prime Minister of New Zealand. They have indefinite detention centers there already. Ireland, down in level 5 lockdown, or 4. Australia, down in level 3 lockdown. England going into lockdown. They're going to pull this out. This is not going to stop. This will not stop, and it will not stop regardless of who becomes president, be it Trump or be it that other whack job, bumbling Biden. Well, nothing's going to change this. They're going to keep going with this. They're going to want to reset everything, whack everybody's economy out, and bring everybody to their knees, I guess, through starvation. Who is it that said, control the food, you control the people, right? There you go.